We're here with some Historic on MTGArena. I've really been enjoying Historic as a format. There are a wide variety of decks, and we're going to do a whole bunch of videos trying to show off all these different decks. Today, we're going to play Jund Storm Herald Combo. It's a combo that revolves around this card called Storm Herald. It's a 3-mana 3-2 with haste, and when it enters the battlefield, you return all auras from your graveyard to play, attach them to any creatures that you want, and then at the end of turn, you exile those auras. And the idea is to use cards like Stitcher's Supplier. When it enters the battlefield or dies, mill 3 cards. Mire Triton. When it enters the battlefield, mill 2 cards. Binding of the Titans. When it enters the battlefield, you mill 3 cards. Timuret Calls the Dead. You mill 3 cards. Or Cathartic Reunion lets you discard cards from your hand to get your graveyard stocked with giant auras, such as Growth, +7/+7 and Trample. Ancestral Mask gives +2/+2 for every other enchantment. All That Glitters, +1/+1 for each enchantment. Cetizen Training to give Trample if you need it. And that's pretty much what's going on here. Call of the Death Dweller in case you mill a Storm Herald, just gives you extra ways to get Storm Herald in play. It's a deck that attacks the format in a different way than most other best of one Historic decks do. Most of Historic is aggro, mid-range, or control. Most of them are especially the mid-range and aggro decks, are very, very creature-focused, right? And they don't really have a lot of ways to interact with the graveyard, especially in best of one. So this deck kind of ignores what they are doing and just tries to do its own thing. We're kind of just playing Goldfish. Just trying to do our own little thing and kill the opponent faster than they kill us. So we're going to play 5 games. See how this does. This is a combo deck, so you will have games where the deck feels absolutely irrelevant. It feels like it can't do anything. The pieces don't line up well. And you're going to have games where it feels like the deck's unbeatable. In reality, it's somewhere in the middle. It's a fine and solid deck if this is the type of thing you would like to play. I used it to rank up all the way through Platinum last season. So we milled an Ancestral Mask and a Storm Herald. So us having Cathartic Reunion, we can discard Ancestral Mask and Storm Herald to draw 3 cards. Attack for 1. So now we have 2 masks in the graveyard, which is pretty good. And here we can play... Nope. We want to use this. We can mill 3 more cards. A Cetizen Training. We'll play our own Cetizen Training. Draw a card, put another enchantment onto the battlefield. And attack for 2. And let's see how much it would be next turn. Each Ancestral Mask will be +6/+6. That's 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Close to lethal. In fact, it's very close to lethal. But with them being mono black and having mana open, we'll go ahead and just keep attacking for 3, wait for them to either tap out or force us to do our combo. Right now, we're not really forced to do anything. In fact, I think we're going to play the Storm Herald and get back nothing. And just treat it as a 3-2 haste and apply more pressure. At some point, they do have to use their removal spells or they will just die. We've got them to 8 already. We have another Storm Herald ready to go with our Call of the Death Dweller. And that one will be pumped up fully. Cabal Stronghold, add black for each basic swamp. Extinction event. Okay. But now we should be able to win the game. Call the Death Dweller. Get back Storm Herald. And bring back our enchantments. And have a 17 power creature, and we win! We did it! And so we showed a little patience there. Forced them to do Suppling. And then, once they did, went ahead and comboed them out. Boom! 1-0. And as you can see, the deck is very explosive. But it doesn't have to... it doesn't have to combo off on turn 4. Or turn 3. It can just... apply a little bit of pressure first, force a reaction, and then combo off afterwards. And one of the fun things about Historic, as I mentioned earlier, is just how much variety there are in decks. If you saw the Gruul Monsters video from yesterday, we played against 5 different decks. This hand's not great, but we will keep it. Cathartic Reunion would be the best draw in the deck. So we'll see if that continues. And it does. Mire Triton. What are we gonna mill? Do call the Death Dwellers. Not the best mills. A little unfortunate. Oh, is this Esper Hero? Oh. I sell Freebooter. Oh, it might be humans. That's a human, right? Yeah. I think we're against humans. Humans is a fun deck. I believe I have a video of 5-color humans. If that's a deck that interests you, you can check back through the playlist. No blocks. No blocks because I want to get Ancestral Mask onto Mire Triton. Even though it doesn't do anything here, it puts it in the graveyard. Assuming, you know, they trade off or something. I probably should have, like, a white source or 2 in the deck. Just so I can cast the All It Glitters. But it hasn't really been an issue in any of the games I've played so far. Oh, Meddling Mage. Oh, that's unfortunate. We will play Setessan Training. And now our Mire Triton's quite large. A 5/3. With Death Touch and Trample, which is a nice combo. Yeah, let's try to do that. Take the 2 Judiths. I figured. But they were gonna get a Judith anyways. I didn't want them to also have the Reveler. I think we are in trouble. Because if they play Judith, that's 4, 7, 9. That is lethal. But if we don't attack... Yeah, so we have to not attack. I guess if they... What's in our graveyard? Oh, our graveyard's not good enough. I was going to say, if they attack with Meddling Mage, we get to, like... Ooh. Yeah, that's no bueno. No good. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think there's a draw that we can have that'll win this game at this point. Humans is a very good deck. I really like it. They look to be... Yep. Good game. I really like the Humans deck. And 1-1. As always, the goal is to 3-2. If you have more wins than losses, then you rank up at least a little. This deck is one that struggles a lot against interaction, whether that be counter magic, humans has, you know, deputy, freebooter, meddling mage that pose problems. There are Simic flash decks that just crush this. But that's the price you pay when you play combos sometimes. Yeah, this seems fine. When you play combo, you risk running into just a horrible matchup. But you're doing it because against other decks, you have such a great matchup because they can't really do anything either. There might be a way to build this a little differently. What are we milling? A training and a call of the Death Dweller. Not too shabby. Anytime you get an aura back there, that's good. Oh, Lazav. Teshar. Oh, is this I think this is Kethis combo. Either Kethis combo or
This isn't a fight you can win.
or something that like
I've done the hero thing.
what's the Mox? The legendary Mox. Gotta try to remember what it's called. What do we have here? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14? I think they're dead. If I did my math right, they are dead. Yep. Boom. And kind of went out of nowhere. Welcome to Combo Town. There's a Mox that's 0 mana, and it adds a mana for like a legendary permanent you control. And there are some decks that use that along with, is it Emery? It's like a 3 mana 1/2 for blue that mills 4, and then you can tap and play an artifact. And it kind of goes off with those, and then like Thassa's Oracle. Or it could have been a Kethis deck, which is a black, green, white card that you can remove 2 historic cards from your graveyard and then cast any historic card, and that also uses that Mox. So it was some sort of combo deck too, or as well. We just didn't get to see exactly which kind, because we killed them a little too quickly. Thank you, Storm Herald. Uh-oh. Stitcher Supplier. Okay, this is the sacrifice deck. I thought we were going to have the mirror match for a second. Ooh. Sometimes you just play Mire Triton and mill the +7/+7 enchantment and feel like a king. But that's not what happened here. Ooh, 2 bad mills. They're going to be able to sacrifice their Stitcher Supplier anyways. So we might as well see if we can get 2 damage in. You'd really like to draw a big enchantment so we can Cathartic Reunion. Meow. Yeah, the Rakdos Sacrifice deck has been picking up a lot more steam over the past few days. I should say probably the past couple weeks, but even more so in the last few days in Historic. as the season wore on, I saw more and more of it. Oh, here's a nice little combo. You can play Croxa. Oh, I would love to discard a card. Thank you. You can play Croxa, and with the trigger on the stack, activate Priest of Forgotten Gods, but for whatever reason they chose not to. We'll discard the 2 Storm Heralds. Oh, yeah. A2 life. Binding of the Titan sounds good. Mill 3. Aw, there it is. That's what I'm talking about. Build a Growth and a Glitters. So now in our graveyard is Growth, Glitters, and Training. So Glitters is 3, so that's 11 power. It's actually 12 if Binding of the Titans is still over here. The question is, if they play Croxa, what do we do? And I think we discard Stitcher's Supplier, and next turn Call of the Death Dweller, bringing back Mire Triton and Stitcher's Supplier. Because we have Binding of the Titans, and it's Chapter 3, will let us bring back Storm Herald from the graveyard. So I think that's the line that we're going to want to take here. That if they play Croxa, we'll discard Stitcher's Supplier. Oh, okay, they have the Chain Whirler, Call of the Death Dweller combo. That's a nice combo. I would like to exile Croxa and Woe Strider. Now the question is, what do we want to do? I think we start with Stitcher's Supplier. Mill 3. And what do we have here? It's 3. So this is 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. We don't want that. So let's Call the Death Dweller. I guess bring back a singular Mire Triton. Hitting another All That Glitters is nice. Next turn we can bring back Storm Herald. Let's see. All That Glitters. All That Glitters. Growth and Training. So it's 4, 8, 15, 16. Plus the 3 on Storm Herald is 19. Not quite enough. However, what did that do? Didn't do much. Now we have to. Oh, they attacked with Priest. Now we have to decide what we want to do. I think I'm going to bring back a Stitcher's Supplier. Mill 3. The problem is this Chain Whirler with Death Touch and First Strike. So what we're going to want to do is bring back multiple things. So here we'll play this Ancestral Mask. Because what we're going to want to do now is to try and make 2 lethal creatures. Otherwise, they can just block the creature with the Goblin Chain Whirler with First Strike and Death Touch and kill it before we trample over. Or we can hope that they make a mistake at some point. Okay. Alright, let's see what they have as a follow-up. Woe Strider. Yeah, that Chain Whirler posing a problem. Another Priest. And I think this one's gotten away from us now. Because now they can just make us sacrifice the creatures. We have a creature that's, you know, big enough for sure. It's just this first strike Death Toucher that's causing us issues. In fact, we might just be dead. Attack with everything. Sack, sack. Yeah, it's possible we're just dead. We'll see what they do. I think the only way for us to win this game is for the opponent to make mistakes. I think they need to... Okay, I think we are certainly dead at this point. This is 9. And the Witch's Oven gives them 10. Okay. Now they attack for 9. They have their Cauldron Familiar. And they played very well. They recognized what we were trying to do, and getting a Death Touch First Striker on the battlefield and always leaving it and another creature up to deal with Menace. Definitely, definitely made it where it was hard for us to do what we wanted to do. So, well played to the opponent. As you've been able to see, the Rakdos Sacrifice deck is pretty good, pretty fun. We had a really good game against it in the Jund Monsters... No, I'm sorry, not Jund, Gruul Monsters video that released earlier this week. This hand is not very good. We're going to try to get that 3 and 2. But this hand's not very good. This hand's much better. I'm fine with this hand. We're going to keep. We're going to throw away a Blood Crypt. We're going to open on Stitcher's Supplier. Big Mills? A Mask is okay. A Johnny's Pridemate. Oh, that's good. Growth and Training. No attacks. Alright, Soul Warden. So they're going to gain some life, but we're going to hopefully be able to deal a lot more damage. And we definitely want to just mill 3 cards as soon as possible. Oh! They might be dead. Let me do some math. They might be dead on turn 3. Mask, Growth, Training, Growth, Mask. So that's 7, 14, 15. And then each mask is +6. No, +8. They're incredibly dead. They are incredibly dead, chat. And here's the turn 3 kill. 38 power, trampling, hasting, attacker. And I'm glad you got to see, like, the deck go off for one of the games. Just turn 3 kill you. Awesome. So we did get the 3 and 2, which feels great. Let me go ahead and put that up on the record. And then I'll pull the deck up again and we'll chat about it before heading out. So, as you could see, this deck, it's explosive. I mean, that last game, we killed the opponent on turn 3. We had like a 30 suppling power attacker with trample and haste on turn 3. So when it works well, it works really well. You also saw games where it just kind of did nothing. And that's how combo decks work. There's probably a better way to build this. I know the split between Binding of Titans and Temerret Calls the Dead is basically me saying I'm not sure which one I like more. Temerret mills 6 cards total, but it's a turn later. Binding of the Titans mills 3, interacts with the opponent's graveyard if that matters, and then brings something back for you. So I might just want 4 Binding of the Titans instead. I probably do want like a singular white source. You know, like a Godless Shrine or something. Just so I can, in theory, cast in all that glitters. It doesn't come up very often, but it can't hurt too bad. But yeah, so deck went well. 3-2. As long as you have more wins than losses, you ranked up a little bit, right? Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you are enjoying our adventure into Historic. Again, I think it's the best constructed format there is right now. I'm having a lot of fun with it. You see a wide variety of decks that we can play, that our opponents are playing. All sorts of different play styles, all sorts of different colors. The games are interesting. And I really like it. So hopefully you did too. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.